After Sony recently announced that they were raising the price of PlayStation Plus to $60, I had a moment of reflection about these subscription services that bind you to paying a monthly fee just to play online on your console. It's not just a Sony or a Microsoft issue, it's a console issue. We buy the consoles, we buy the games, we pay for internet. Why should we have to pay for an online service for our consoles? What are Sony and Microsoft spending money on that would require us to pay a monthly fee? Let's talk about it. So first I want to take a look at the PS4. You might argue that it's expensive to run the servers for PS4 games, but the numbers say otherwise. Let's take a look at the top 51 PS4 games. 41 out of the 51 are third-party games. Of those 41, 31 have multiplayer at all, and 28 out of those 31 use servers, while the other 3 are COD games that use peer-to-peer connections. Now, game servers are great because it makes connecting to games smooth and a simple experience, so maybe we should thank Sony for running all of those game servers for us. Oh, wait. Sony doesn't run those servers. Third-party game companies pay for and run their own servers, and Sony doesn't even provide financial assistance from their PlayStation Plus revenue. Those third-party game companies don't require me to pay to use their servers, so why should Sony charge me every month? Maybe there's another reason. So let's take a look at those 10 Sony-made PS4 games that are in the top 51. Of those 10 games, 7 have multiplayer, and 4 of those 7 use game servers. 4 games. You're telling me that Sony charges $60 a month to pay for game servers for 4 games. There's got to be another reason. Before the console launched and after it was announced that players would have to pay for online, Sony talked about the decision. Destructoid.com published the following about what Sony said. After being asked what went into the decision to charge for online gameplay, Sony explained that online features and services are going to be a big pillar of the PS4 experience. They go on to note, we've already talked about the share button, sharing features, second screens. If we continue to invest into online infrastructures, that costs money. If we continue free service to online multiplayer, from a business standpoint, there's pressure to recover costs. That's when we decided, let's ask the people who are the most active in playing online to share some of the costs so we can invest more. Does that really explain anything? Does paying for 4 game servers and a share button justify $60 a month? There are probably other servers Sony runs for games like MLB The Show, for example, that don't sell well anyway and don't require much money to operate. But seriously, Sony? Yeah, you could argue that cloud storage is included with their PS Plus subscription, but cloud storage is free for all Xbox and Steam users. Speaking of Xbox, Microsoft does have more multiplayer games that they operate servers for, but there is a caveat here. All Windows 10 users will not be paying to play online multiplayer games that support crossplay. You heard me right. PC players will get to play online without an Xbox Live Gold subscription, while Xbox users pay $60 for the same game for the same multiplayer. Why the heck did Sony and Microsoft think that charging for multiplayer was ever okay? There isn't a good reason for the cost at all, and I honestly think that the only reason they get away with it is because they can point their fingers at each other and argue that the other does it so they can too. You might say, oh, Wumbo, but they give you free games, so shush. Firstly, why can't they just make that a separate subscription and give us the free internet that we deserve, considering we already pay internet providers for service in the first place? And by the way, you don't really get free games, you basically just rent games. Ultimately, I think Sony and Microsoft need to look at the PC in Steam and Origin, for example. Steam has about 125 million users, and Origin has like 50 million. Steam has free games, free game weekends, live streaming, achievements, huge game sales, mod support, multiplayer, and much more, and it's all free. The people that are going to disagree with me either A, don't pay for these services themselves, or are too young to the point that these payments aren't a big deal, and therefore don't care too much about the cost. Or B, want to defend Sony or Microsoft at all costs because they support their console. I want to hear your opinions. Leave a comment and I'll try to respond to every single one. If you enjoyed this little rant style video, let me know by hitting that like button. My name is Wumbo. I'll see you next time.